So I just got one package delivered, which is the M1 Mac Mini, which in this video we are going to be unboxing. Coming right up. Alright, so the M1 Mac Mini. Basically it has the same CPU or the ARM chip like the MacBook Pro, but the only difference is it's in a desktop form, a small Mac Mini form, not a laptop. So potentially it has better cooling, I think. And I got the 16 gigabytes of RAM. My MacBook Pro only has 8 gigabytes of RAM, which has been very good for me so far. Now, theoretically, it should be better than my MacBook Pro because my MacBook Pro only has 8 gigabytes of RAM. This has 16 gigabytes. And this basically has the same chassis as the old Mac Mini, which is from the Intel CPU. But since the M1 chip is so small, you don't really need a lot of cooling inside that. So the inside of this one has pretty much of a space for the airflow and something like that. They just kept the chassis on it and replaced it with the M1 chip there, which is a lot smaller and a lot less of a heat, unlike the Intel version of the Mac Mini or the MacBook Pro, which is even worse. All right, without further ado, let's unbox this one and see what is inside. Okay, right here, let us just rip this off. I must say, I think it's a little lighter compared to the old Mac Mini. I don't have one here to compare right now, unfortunately, but you're just gonna have to take my word for it for now. All right, so this one, the packaging is pretty tight. Okay, so you know, you might need a little effort to take this off. This is like something like a vacuum in there. And now you can see the Mac Mini right away on top. It has a little bit of the plastic here for, you know, to pull it out, which is really good. And you know, with Apple, they just have a very nice design and packaging, you know, along with their, you know, branding and marketing. You can see the Apple logo right there. And let's put this aside for now. Let's see what's inside. So right now it's just all the paperwork or the branding of Apple. Here's Mac Mini, and open it up. It's showing you the features on the Mac Mini. Welcome to your Mac Mini. Status light is on the front. We're gonna check it out later on this device. But it's basically showing you what is inside here. It's power, Ethernet adapter. I think this is Thunderbolt 3 or USB 4. And then there's the HDMI port, USB-A. We're gonna take a look at that later. And it has a huge Apple sticker right here and another for more paperwork, basically. Okay, so another is the cable, the power cable. Unfortunately, it does not have any other cable. I guess the Thunderbolt 3 cable or a USB-C or HDMI cable. It only comes with the power cable that you'll be attaching to it. So you might need to buy an HDMI cable or a USB-C cable if you haven't yet. You know, because this does not have any screen like the MacBook Pro. So you will need to hook this up on the monitor. Okay, let's take this aside. Okay, actually, let's take it off. Apple, you know, they have transitioned to all paper with their packaging, especially from cables, but actually it's still pretty good to, you know, well packed and all that. And here's how the cable looks like. Here's the other end of the cable. Oh, here we go. So, and that's it. So let's move this aside and go for the main item right here. Time for peeling it off. So with Apple, their packaging, especially with the plastic, is really easy to take off. But still, you know, it still looks premium and very, you know, fashionable, I would say. Here's the back of it. It says the Mac Mini. It's still the same as the old, what I call this, chassis or old Mac Mini chassis or design, you know, with the black casing right here where you can open it up. I'm not gonna open it up right now, so I just wanted to show you how it looks like. And okay, so one thing I noticed, as with most of the Apple products, thumbprints are very visible. I'm not sure if you can see it from the camera, but I can see it on my end. Here's the Apple logo again, And there's not much really on the front of it, except there's one light indicator right here. I think it's for indicator to know it's powered on, or there's storage activity or any activity at all, especially for the hard drive. Actually, SSD or NVMe, not hard drive. Now let's go to the back. Here is the back. There's a small peel here. You know, they have covered it with a black sticker, I guess, just to protect all the ports right here. You know, when you're shipping this out and all that, you know, you don't want any dust here, especially when you're selling this one, especially when it's brand new. So, time to peel it off. Here we go. Here are the ports on the back. There's this power button right here. There's the power adapter or power adapter port right here where you will be hooking up the power cable. Here's the Ethernet cable. Unfortunately, there's no 10 gigabit port, and there's two Thunderbolt 4 or /USB-C. Unfortunately, there's only two. If I'm not mistaken, the old Mac Mini has 4 USB-C, but Thunderbolt, I'm not sure if it's Thunderbolt 2 or Thunderbolt 3 for the old one, but this one only has 2. There's still HDMI port right here and 2 USB-A port. Also, there's the audio jack, the headphone jack. So with Mac Mini, you still have the headphone jack. The MacBook Pro also has the headphone jack. It's just kind of annoying that the iPhone doesn't have the iPhone jack, I guess, for, you know, trying to make it as slim as possible. I mean, I'm saying it's annoying, but I'm not really using the headphone jack. I have AirPods Pro for that. Alright, so after setting up the Mac Mini, I actually have been playing around with it for a few days. And what I can tell you is, it's by far the fastest sub $1,000 Mac that I've used. It's very snappy and responsive, even compared to my M1 MacBook Pro, which is also fast. But this one feels a lot snappier, to be honest with you. You can also probably argue that it can edit as fast as a $4,000 computer in video editing, especially for 4K videos, if not faster, depending on which video editing software you're going to be using. Like Final Cut Pro is very optimized for the M1 chip. Now, as for the Adobe Premiere, I haven't really used it lately. I'm not sure if they have rolled out an update for the M1 optimization or something like that. So, I mean, it still runs as per other folks that I know, but it's going through Rosetta translation. Also, the SSD of the M1 Mac Mini is very good and fast, actually. I was running some benchmark on Geekbench, and the results were pretty good, actually. The single core was on 1737 or 1737, while the multi-core was around 7557 or 7557, and that is on OpenCL on the CPU, while it ran for the GPU at 19,135. And then I also ran a test for the Metal, and the score was even better. It was running at 21,516. Also, this is running at macOS 11.4 or Big Sur. Now, there are a few downsides that you want to be aware of the M1 Mac Mini, even though, you know, it's pretty good. I think it's one of the fastest small computer right now, other than, you know, a very customized 5K computer. First is the apps that you want to be running are the M1 optimized apps. You want to make sure that. I'm not saying other apps are not going to run with the M1 Mac Mini. They actually do, even if they are still optimized for Intel. It's just that it's not going to be as fast as an M1 optimized app or software. Also, there are a few people complaining about Bluetooth issue with the M1 Mac. I'm not sure if it's the actual chip itself or the software, or it could be because of the M1 chip trying to do translation or whatever. I'm not entirely sure of that, but there are legitimate cases, especially on people on the internet. They're having issues with the Bluetooth, especially like keyboard, mouse, or some other devices that uses the Bluetooth. But I went around that. I didn't really have much issue with it. For the most part, I'm only using the Bluetooth for my AirPods Pro, while my Logitech mouse and keyboard, I've been using the unifying receiver that comes with it. So if you don't really rely a lot on the Bluetooth, it shouldn't be a big of a problem, but you want to make sure. You just want to be aware of that and expect what's going to happen and all that. You need to make sure that you have a backup plan in case something goes wrong, especially if it's one of your main devices that you use daily. Alright, and that's it for this video, guys. Don't forget to smash the like button, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing again. I'm Lars of Kilobit Nomad. See you in the next video.